Rivian just did something it's only pulled off once before, turned a profit. But that's just the beginning. We've got major updates on the R2's development, a bold move in autonomy that rivals Tesla, and a brand new protection plan quietly rolling out to Rivian owners. Oh, and if you've been eyeing the limited edition California Dune R1T or R1S, now's the time to buy. This is your weekly dose of Rivian news. Let's dive in. Let's start right there with the California Dune Editions. If you've been holding out for the limited run R1T or R1S in that signature colorway, they just hit the R1 shop. And this time they come with some serious perks because you can now apply your Rivian referral points toward the purchase, and delivery lead times are as short as 1 to 2 weeks. If you're a fan of the Dune colorway, this is actually a fantastic deal with the accessories that you get. And because these are tri-motor max pack vehicles, starting at the low end of the pricing spectrum at around $100,000. And because it's a Dune, it comes with the dark Max Trax recovery boards with the mounts, the dark out crossbars, and for the R1T, a powered tonneau cover with Rivian's newly redesigned Generation 2 system. That one has the smaller slats and is much quieter. That alone can save you thousands in aftermarket accessory upgrades. So if you wanted these accessories anyways, this is a great deal, and if you plan on placing your order, I've linked the Dune Edition below, along with my referral code. Using my code gets you $500 in credit for the Rivian Gear Shop, perfect for grabbing even more accessories. Now, let's zoom out for a second though, because Rivian's Q1 shareholder letter just dropped, and it paints a really interesting picture of where the company stands. For the second consecutive quarter, Rivian achieved positive gross profit, a major milestone for the company. Total gross profit reached $206 million, with $92 million coming from vehicle sales and $114 million coming from software and services. Now, to put this into perspective, just a year ago, Rivian was losing over $500 million on this line item. So this marks significant progress. Rivian produced 14,611 vehicles and delivered 8,640 vehicles. While the delivery figure may appear low at first glance, it's actually the result of a strategic decision, because in late 2024, Rivian ramped up commercial van deliveries to stay ahead of a supply shortage affecting the Enduro motor system. That move boosted Q4 delivery numbers, but naturally led to fewer vans going out in Q1. So this isn't a sign of declining demand, it was smart supply chain planning in action. And that's not all. Tucked into the same letter were some exciting updates on the R2 vehicles. We're talking new images, pilot builds, and even a glimpse at the Maximus drive unit. Looking closely at the new photos, there are a few exciting takeaways. First, shout out to Jose from Rivian Tracker. He noticed something interesting in the images of the Maximus drive unit. If you look closer, it appears that adaptive shocks may be in testing. That's a big deal. It suggests that R2 could offer a slight adjustable suspension, giving drivers a smoother, more controlled ride, both on and off the road. Personally, I was hoping for this feature. It makes a lot of sense. Rivian is still all about adventure and off-roading, and adaptive suspension could take its off-road capability to the next level at that current price point. Second, if you notice, the R2 prototype is sporting a different set of wheels, but RJ did confirm that these rims are only for development purposes and won't make it to production, so don't get too attached. One detail that I'm happy to see is a small notch in the rear window, which likely means that Rivian is keeping the rear vent design for a more open air cabin feel. While there's not much more to take from these images, it's encouraging to see multiple validation builds underway, and that RJ himself is already test driving the R2, and he says that he's loving it. So what could be next? Maybe next week we'll see a look at paint options, interior trims, or even some early driving footage soon. Make sure that you stay subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any future updates, and please hit that like button on this video. As for pricing, Rivian continues to stand by the $45,000 starting price for R2, and honestly, I've been a little bit nervous about whether they can stick to it, especially with new tariffs under the Trump administration. This is going to drive up costs of importing parts, and even though Rivian builds vehicles in the US, many components still come from overseas. That's exactly why Rivian is investing $120 million to build a new supplier park next to its Illinois factory. This facility will allow suppliers to manufacture parts closer to the main plant, cutting down on shipping and logistics costs. Rivian workers will then coordinate the parts and feed them directly into the production line. Not only does this improve efficiency, but it's expected to create hundreds of new jobs in Normal, Illinois. This move shows that Rivian is serious about streamlining production and preserving cash flow, two very critical steps that make it more realistic for them to hit that $45,000 price target for R2. Now, this part really caught my attention. Rivian is highlighting their Autonomy platform, and this could be their boldest tech move yet. Rivian just launched the Gen 2 R1 vehicles about a year ago with the new Autonomy platform, featuring upgraded 55 megapixel cameras and a system capable of performing over 200 trillion operations per second. That is some serious computing power, and it's already enabling hands-free driving. RJ has even projected eyes-free driving by 2026. Looking ahead, Rivian expects rapid developments on the autonomy front and plans to host an AI and Autonomy Day this fall so that they can lay out product roadmaps, technology vision, and overall AI strategy. When asked about catching up to Tesla, RJ expressed full confidence that as Rivian scales, it will become a major player in the AI and autonomy space. But here's where I stand, and I'm curious if you agree. Right now, I wouldn't personally pay extra for hands-free driving or the autonomy platform as is. But here's what would convince me. Features like hands-free driving without relying on the pre-mapped roads, the ability to summon the vehicle out of tight spots, and intelligent parking assistance, especially for parallel parking. And if you're an optimist out there, look, I'd love to be wrong, but I seriously doubt that we'll be seeing eyes-free driving in 2026. Prove me wrong, Rivian. Meanwhile, something very under the radar is happening in Texas. According to Rivian Tracker, Rivian is quietly testing a new pilot program called Rivian Care, which is a set of optional protection plans designed to go beyond the standard factory warranty. This is powered by Assurant, a trusted name in vehicle protection. Rivian Care gives owners two separate coverage options, and you can choose one or both depending on what your needs are. The first option is a vehicle service contract, which kicks in after your original Rivian warranty ends. It covers major components like the high voltage battery, drivetrain, mechanical systems, and safety features. It even includes some wear and tear items right from the start, something that you don't usually get with standard extended warranties. The second plan is called Preferred Vehicle Protection, and it covers those everyday annoyances that aren't included in Rivian's base warranty, like the windshield damage, tire and wheel repairs, and paintless dent removal. I think it's a great option if you're racking up the miles or driving in less than perfect road conditions. For now, Rivian Care is only available to select owners in Texas as part of a limited pilot, but if the feedback is good, I can totally see this rolling out to more states very soon. And finally, let's talk software. Rivian just dropped update 2025.14, and it includes everything from smarter driver assistance to faster infotainment systems. If you haven't seen it yet, check your Rivian to see if you've gotten the update. Some of the key changes come to the infotainment system with Spotify DJ added, as well as driver assistance improvements for Gen 1 vehicles on highway assist, and Go Chime improvements for Gen 2 owners. Tri-motor owners also get the ability to retain ride height in sports mode after sleep, and driver profiles now save navigation and display settings. For the full rundown, make sure to check out my deep dive into the latest update linked down below. But that's a wrap for this week's Rivian's news. Thank you so much for watching. If you missed last week's breakdown, it's linked down below. And don't forget, adventure is always out there.